The day calls for darkness. You became the villain, but only because they were the villains first. Collective, we're getting into your shadow and why you are the villain in your villain's eyes. Okay? So, we're going to get right to it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why do they see you as the villain, collective? Because any villain that you've ever had in your story, when you come back into your own power, you become theirs. So let's see what's going on. The day calls for darkness, but that day came for you a long time ago. You've been face to face with your own shadow and the shadow of others. So you were forced to look at your own, forced to sit in it, to sit in that dark room. You were forced in a dark room with snakes, poisonous snakes. The venom tried to kill you, but it healed you. Because the venom was also the cure. Reciprocity, number 18. Now look at you coming out of the shadow, coming out of the storm, lighting your way, brighter than ever, shining bright. You're cloaked. There's many keys hanging above your head. You found many, many doorways, many, many keys, and you walked through them all. You're still walking through them. So you walked through your shadow, and you became enlightened. They had a storm. They thought you would never come out of the storm. But there you are, with a raincoat. Number 18, adding up to 9. They thought it was over for you. And you found another way, another portal, another way to exist. Reciprocity. You understood that without equal giving and receiving, everything comes undone and off balance. So you balanced yourself. The journey. You realized that this was part of your journey. That many winding roads would try to deviate you off your path. You realized you were in a journey. Many tempting offers through people, places, things, addictions. And now you've walked past that into light. The apple no longer looks the same. You realize that not everything that shines is gold. Not everything that looks good for you is. And many people try to deviate you, try to test you, try to poison you, so to speak, with words, with actions, with betrayals, with burdens, with manipulation, tactics, in ways that they thought you would never realize, because they never thought you'd understand your own power. But see, your darkness is different. It's a dark paradise. You found paradise in darkness in this journey. And again, you have purified your energy through the storm, the rain, the clouds, the lonely nights, through the shadow, the dark night. Number 16. Understanding that you are always divinely guided. That adding up to number 7. A very difficult spiritual journey indeed. One that recalls for you to follow your intuition, the signs and synchronicities, and connecting with what you cannot see. Your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your ancestors, the Most High. Understanding that you are part of the same thing. Not apart from it. Not separate from it. Fear. What was made to put you in fear now has them in fear. See, they didn't understand your bloodline. They didn't understand what you're connected to. They didn't understand that in the darkness, you would conquer fear. Now they fear what you found in the shadows. Because if it was them instead of you, they know they wouldn't have made it through. So all the speed bumps, all the tactics, you came out with flying colors because you understood that there was no other way but becoming that warrior you always somehow deep down inside knew you were. You had to be courageous. There was no other way, because living in fear or in the shadow wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't going to pull you through till you faced it and understood that it wasn't there to break you. It was there to make you stronger. Even though it felt like you were falling apart, crumbling before everyone's eyes, whether they saw it or not. You picked those pieces back up and you did something in there that transmuted what was meant to break you into something unrecognizable. But you were not alone. There was other things in the shadows that lived there. You realize weren't against you, but were for you. Anyone else would have ran scared, feared it, cowered, but you didn't. Number 12. Adding up to 3. The catalytic number. Whatever you embodied at the time is what you attracted. So it was like attracting your own lesson. The catalyst to what you would become. A moment of silence. A moment of fear, doubt. But then a glimpse of hope, faith, that somehow sparked within you. And you know what that is. Bottom of the deck. Disconnection. Now you stand at the very cave you were in, the shadow, for so long. As a guard, you turned it into a paradise, into light. And you disconnected from those who no longer serve you or belong within your sphere, your energy. You raised the bar, 41 adding up to 5. This is deep spiritual change, evolution. and ascension. You're wearing a crown. You're wearing a suit as if you're going to war, to battle, but you've already been there. So you went through training and became the warrior that you were always. You just had to see it for yourself. You are more grounded than ever before. Your intuition sharpened. But the tears you've cried, you'll never forget them. You built a foundation, or you're building it now. And no one shall enter this portal. It's safeguarded, protected by not just you, but those who were there with you in darkness. Whether it's people in connection to your spirit team. And the Most High God. In the shadows, you mended a broken heart, disappointments, understanding that through self-reflection, that it was your giving heart, your limitless willingness to give unconditionally, that put you in certain situations that you didn't know how to get out of. But in the shadows, you understood why. Because sometimes we sell ourselves short for others that don't deserve it. Sometimes we override the red flags and give them the benefit of the doubt. The shadow didn't make you bitter. You still love unconditionally. And it wasn't always just a lover. It could have been a friend, something a stranger said, a disappointment from a co-worker, yes, a lover, an ex, a parent, a brother, a sister, an uncle. Everything was meant to harden you, to make you join the villain crowd as they see it. You were filled with traumatic experiences that were meant to destroy, to break you, to keep you down, out for the count. And somehow in that shadow, in that darkness, you still managed to heal, to become the healer, to understand your healing abilities. You were forced to look at yourself, your own actions, and self-reflect and understand why. How did this come to be? What can I do to not encounter certain types of heartbreaks? We know that heartbreak is inevitable and sometimes it has nothing to do with us, but things in life happen. But what I'm talking about is heartbreak that came from people that deliberately set out and went out of their way to cause you. Even if we misjudged someone that we thought had good intentions as we did, and we realized they didn't. You didn't retaliate once again. You went within. You disconnected yourself. And this is why you became the villain. Because how dare you heal? How dare you embody healing, strength, courage, and resilience after we tried to keep you there? That's their mentality. Not taking accountability for what they did. Just how dare you become the villain in our story now, simply because you detached, you disconnected, and you surpassed their evil against you. And you will do it again if you have to, as you continue on this journey. Because we know that it's never ending, right? We'll encounter other people alike, but we're better equipped now. We know how to remove ourselves from that experience because we've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Now we sold that shit and moved on. Number 36, 369. They didn't realize your heart was a portal of unconditional love. They went through that portal and didn't take precautions. And now they've been kicked out. Left to stand there with what they did. Because when they look at you now, and they know that what they did was low, even for their standards. But they will never apologize. They will never tell you. Know that they secretly fear you. And they secretly are riddled with anxiety. Because this will never, your comeback, your glow up, the way you healed in the shadows, away from it all, and how they see you rise today, because some of you, they're still watching. The way you came out of it, nonchalantly, as they see it. They didn't see the hard stuff you had to go through behind the scenes. But they know what they did was set out to break you. And they see you smiling, shining, looking better than ever before, inside and out. It scares them. They don't know what to make of it. They don't understand because they're not in it. They would have ran from the shadow. There were things in that shadow meant to make you run, and you didn't. Meant to make you stop healing and continue on living how you were living. But nope, not this time. You said no more. But because these people don't understand what you went through in that dark cave, they fear what you will say, what you will do next. And remember, they project and they see you as the villain now. So because villains cannot trust each other, they don't trust you. Because they don't know you anymore. That doesn't mean you do as they do, but they don't know. They underestimated you. And they will continue to underestimate you if they don't realize that it takes a lot of strength and courage to do what you did in silence. If they don't realize how much more powerful you can become and independent from anyone you can become and continue to become. How much more insight and power you continue to gain within, because you realized you are the flame. You became the fire. And you will rise a raging fucking flame till they get it. But the flame doesn't go to them. They go to the flame. So if they so want to test the flame, they will get burned. And it's not by you retaliating. It's just the energy, the vibration, and the frequency you walk in. It's inevitable. Whether it's by karma, whether it's by forces unseen, you became untouchable. 21:21 on the clock. 3-3. 3-3-3. You are mastering thyself slowly but surely. And you're doing it where it counts, internally, spiritually, consciously, where your world will shift in such a way that it looks like fucking magic. They will wonder how you did it, because this is not the stopping point or the end. No, no, no. This is the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning. Violet Angel, number 23, adding up to 5. Breaking down, only to be built back up. Mending a broken heart, breaking down. Every tear you shed, source, heard, every cry, every teardrop, every scream, and the change that you went through. It was like you were just a little spark and turned to ash. And somehow, as you healed, it sparked again. Like magic. Strange Valentine. Love is strange. Love will challenge and change and shift you. Number 27, adding up to 9. You realize that love is very, very powerful. It can be really good, but it can be very dark and painful if mishandled, mistreated, misheld. Love can turn to hate for some, but not for you. You saw how love can change people for the worse. I'm sure one of these villains, it had to do with love. But they didn't understand the power of love. They went up against it. Love is the only thing that's real. I often talk about that. How do you go up against the most powerful embodiment that you can feel in your soul and your spirit, that you can embody, taste, embrace? When you go up against that, it's like you're going up against everything that is. Because everything comes from the embodiment of love. It's all encompassing. We love good people, we love bad people. We don't choose. It happens. And when it is tampered with in a negative, dark way, well, it's like a moth to a flame. If they weren't ready for the fire, they should have never tried putting it out. 27. Another 9. 999. There's a lot of different portals here. A lot of different experiences. The portal you're in right now, I heard it's your safe haven. You are painting another picture in your life, and it has everything to do with the change that you have gone within, that has transpired within yourself. And some moths that are attracted to it, when they meet right at the door of that portal, they're going to disintegrate. Because that portal is fucking protected. Like no other portal has been protected before. And not just by you, by your spirit team. Okay, there's something going on in that portal. They don't know what's behind curtain number 3. But when that shit gets revealed, because you're living it, oh, darling, you know they're going to try to, oh, she had to have, or he had to have done this. He had to have done that. Oh, they must be messing with magic. Or who do they have to get there, you know? Oh, yeah, you're going to, but you're not going to give a fuck. Because you know how you got there. Okay? Let's get some, before I get some tarot, let's get some of these. This is my behind the veil of it all. You were able to see a lot. See, they left you by yourself with tools they didn't even know existed. You became the magician, the alchemist. You stepped into a terrain that you had no idea was molding you to be this warrior. You were able to see things about yourself that if you were to tell anyone that knew you, they look at you like you crazy. You went mad. You've lost it. Nah, you've actually found it. They're lost. Alright. One more. It's gonna rain, that's why it's a little dark in here. And actually, let me get some more light in here. Alright, let's just do a couple more. Realization. It says coming to terms with who and what they've become. I feel like that's what you came to terms with at some point in your life. And now you're watching the shit burn. You no longer live there. You disconnected. And you knew that you could never go back. And you left. And it was the right thing to do and the best thing you could do for yourself. Taking chances, you got me going out on a limb for you. I feel like you tried taking a chance with someone, you took a risk, and it was part of the journey, and it was not meant for you. It was at a time where you didn't know yourself like you do now. You have an unbreakable bond with yourself now. And before you allow anyone in your space, you will make sure that they have the same connection with themselves. Fear. Mirror effect. A healing connection with similar experiences, traumas, and disappointments. You met someone here. That's why love is strange. Your mirror reflection of what needed to be healed. You were there. You met this person because you were both there to trigger each other, to heal each other from past traumas. You could have went through similar experiences, same traumatic experiences and disappointments through other people. But someone here was so scared of what they were seeing. Now, when you encounter someone, and it's the mirror effect, and let's say you met someone with narcissistic tendencies or someone that was narcissistic, that's not to say that you were narcissistic. But there was a level of trauma that spirit thought that if not both of you, at least one of you would heal from. And that was you, sweetheart. Okay? Exactly. So you had to go your separate ways. After much deliberation, contemplation, and useful information, you can now move forward into a new path with confidence. You understood that time is of the essence. Divine intervention came in. The experience was had, and the meaning, the experience, the meaning, it had its purpose, and it's part of your past now. But so how does that leave the other person? Well, looks to me like they're still in fear. So they were the villain in your story, and you became theirs now. Because this person still fears that you will never return. They pushed you so far away that you will never repeat this in your life. It doesn't really matter what they do now. 33:33 on the clock. Their time in your life is over for you. That's why love is strange. How can something so deep, so ground shaking, something so beautiful yet so powerful, so destructive, so painful, turn into something so bitter, so lost, so broken? But you understood why. They didn't. See, they held on to the love is weak, or this isn't love, or they held on to, and you moved something within this person. That's the only reason why they retaliated against it. That person was not ready for this emotion. They were not ready for this experience. Neither were you. But your characters are very different. You showed your character here today. And it's one of strength, resilience, dignity, power, and unconditional love. Theirs is still in fear of what you reflect. That's why they still project. Let's get some tarot here. Whoever these people were. Okay. It could be different. Doesn't always have to be a lover. It could be several people you've encountered throughout your journey. They don't understand you now. They never did. They never gave you the chance. And back then, you didn't even understand yourself enough to recognize what was going on, or, to understand that you can come out of it. You sure did, though. Somehow, you listened to the call. You heeded the call. Spirit got you out of the situation, and you listened. You restored yourself. You're healing yourself. You continue to move forward, and now you're more aware than ever before. That's powerful. Where other people would have folded, where other people would have kept throwing stones or became even more bitter. Like these villains. But now you're the villain because you represent something entirely different. Something with integrity. If you were like them, they would have known already. You became unfuckwittable. The Queen of Wands. You found your wings. You went through that glow up. You said, I'm not letting this take me down. You self-reflected. You came to terms with who and what you were becoming. And now look at you. All eyes on you. Inner strength, power, confidence. Charismatic, intuitive, ambitious, creative. Everything that was lying dormant, you have become. Male or female. The moon. Yeah. You wanted to take a risk with something that you didn't see coming. Something you weren't sure of. Something that was hidden. Hidden intentions, hidden agendas, hidden traumas, hidden everything. But you were true to what you were feeling without knowing its story at the time. It wasn't just a tempting thing. It was genuine on your end. Whether it was with friendship, friends, family, lovers, exes, however, or one person in particular. You saw the good in it because your heart is of pure nature. You love unconditionally. So you see the good side in people. You see other people's potential because that is something you embody. But you're understanding if they cannot see their own potential, or they go up against you in ways that are completely out of left field, uncalled for, and unnecessary, then their character must not be as good as we thought it was. Especially if you've seen these people stay the same. But you are willing to go into the unknown for these people, even without knowing their agendas. If they had them, the moon is here. You are willing to ignore your intuition because you are of pure heart and nature. But you understand now that puts you at risk, that brings severe consequences. It doesn't mean that you can't love people from a distance or unconditionally, but the people you invite into your space now, you understand what to look for. It's like, I need to see what's beneath that shadow first. Okay, before we go any further here, whether it's in friendship, relationship, any kind of relationship. Knight of Swords. You became that warrior. Okay? You became the lone wolf. You were chilled for a minute. Someone's feeling the chill now. They're out in the cold. Wondering who's going to save me now. Ain't nobody coming to save them but themselves. And if they don't realize that, well, it's going to be a cold life. So they better start adapting. The King of Swords. Ooh. The masculine within. Yeah. Look who you became in the shadows. Queen of Wands, King of Swords. You got wise. You started cutting out people left and right. There's something about you connecting to your masculine energy here. You did the unthinkable. Like, to people, it was like the unthinkable. Okay? You wised up. You hid yourself. You cloaked yourself. And you went through a glow up. It's right here. Hoodie over here. Hoodie over here. You sharpened up your sword while you were going through a glow up. And you were prepared to use it by speaking your truth. By no longer dimming your light. By being honest and upfront with yourself first and foremost. And then with others. With confidence. Ooh-wee. Justice. Exactly. With the moon, now you're weighing people's hearts. So you can see this apple as a heart right now. Well, let me take a look at that real quick. If your heart is not as light as a feather, you're not coming in this portal. Justice, balance, walking karma. Ooh-wee. And there they are. They didn't know what would happen when you healed and your heart became as light as a feather. Balanced between your mind and heart. They thought they would fool you. They didn't realize you were a seed. You grow. And you certainly did. Oh, wait. Before anybody comes in your space, you are definitely weighing out their heart. Intuitively. Even your dreams will reveal their true character. Queen of Wands with the moon, you better believe it. King of Cups. The light coming through the cracks. Somebody's heart has been so chilled. But you decided to mend it. You did not allow your heart to be iced by past experiences. Because you understand it keeps you stuck. It keeps you frozen. It keeps you unable to experience life fully as you know you want to and should. You know what I mean? So if this other person or other people are like that with cold hearts, what a shame. What a misery is to shun love of any kind when it has good intentions. I feel like whoever you met along the way, or people you met along the way, they act in this way because something along the journey, maybe in childhood, maybe in their teenage years, sometimes in adulthood, some form of experience was so it was so painful. Something could happen abruptly that anything that even resembled a glimpse of it scared them. They didn't want to experience that pain again. But the worst thing they could have done is retaliate against it. I don't know in which ways. For all of you is different. But I can tell because of what you went through. It wasn't pretty. And it was unnecessary. But necessary for your growth. It became the catalyst for you. So in that aspect, it was a good thing for you. King of Cups and King of Swords. Balance between the mind and heart. The rite of passage through what's behind the veil. A whole new world, a whole new experience, a whole new life. Good karma, cleansing out bad karma. Exactly, Ten of Swords, after major betrayal. A horrific experience where you thought you couldn't get up off that floor, or you might have felt like you were drowning. But a new day is here. A new spark. Exactly, you became the fire. From ashes to flame. A burning flame, the sun. A new day is here. Enlightenment. Shining. No more will you be under illusion. Seven of Cups. You transmuted the shadow. Temperance. You were patient. And you allowed yourself to go with the flow. Ace of Pentacles. You understand your worth. Queen of Cups. And everything was worth it for this new beginning. You no longer played the victim. Nine of Wands. And you walked into that other shadow, out of the shadow, or other portal. With judgment, you heeded the call. Spirit walked you right in to show you a different experience along this pathway. And you left everything else out in the cold that didn't serve you. Five of Pentacles. Knight of Wands and High Priestess. Yeah. You understood something real well. And you're keeping it moving along your journey, filled with ambition, creation, and a spark for a new life. With your intuition intact. You're on a journey. And you're loving every minute of it. You're learning, you're growing, and you're quiet. and you're independent, Nine of Pentacles. You're going to be running in, and some of you have already, opportunities here that create more independence. You're on a different journey, a whole new experience in life, one that others may not understand, but you do. You're very much tapped in and connected to your spirit team. Let's clarify justice. The Knight of Wands. You're keeping it moving. Okay? Is what I'm seeing here. And Spirit's walking with you. Protecting you. And guiding you. There will be karma to those that go against you because you're on your purpose. Ace of Cups. Okay? You're walking this path of self-love, self-worth. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Okay? The fruits of your labor shall come. You're moving forward here. Okay? There's something about timing. The Hierophant. Yeah, you're on your purpose. Okay? The fruits of your labor. You've been learning. Okay, some of you are meant to teach. Some of you are protected by dragons. I love dragons. Obviously, you see my little dragon up here. And, oh, actually, remember I told you guys that I had family staying over? So, my mother stayed with me in my room. And normally I sleep with like, I have like this little fireplace thing. Not this one, but I have another one that's bigger. And I like to sleep with that like light on. It's like a red light. But, you know, with her, the room was pitch black because she doesn't sleep with any lights. And the next day she told me, and my mom is not as spiritual as I am. Okay, she's learned to be more open-minded because I've been connected to spirit since I was little. And she's been more open-minded. And she went through experiences when she was pregnant with me. But she tried to ignore it. But it was undeniable experiences. Like poltergeists and all kinds of weird stuff. And it stopped when she gave birth. But that night that she stayed here, a few nights ago, she goes, I didn't want to tell you this, but I saw a big dragon's eye in your room. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a good thing, you know? And she's like, yeah, I wasn't scared of it. But she knew it was a dragon's eye because it was just the eye. But it was big. It was like, you know, a big dragon's eye with the, you know, the skin around the eye and the, you know, the slanted eye. She saw it. And I was like, damn, I wish I could have seen that. You know, and here she is, she saw it, and she's not really, and I do feel like my mother has gifts. Most definitely, we all do. But she doesn't like to, like, tap into that kind of stuff. But she will have the coolest experiences sometimes. They're rare and far few between, but when she has them, I love hearing about them because it's like, oh, wow, you know. So I started telling her that, well, my totem animal is pretty much the dragon. I love dragons. So, and to me, I saw that as, okay, that's just a protection. Because I believe in multi-dimensions. And dragons are not what is depicted by people that like to make mystical things look evil. It is not an evil thing. I encourage any one of you to look up Mary Magdalene and the Dragon, okay? It's an extremely highly ascended being. And they are a form of protection, and a lot of you know because a lot of you are like dragons too. I've seen it in the comments before when this has come up before. So, and it comes from obviously the mystical realm, one that no one can experience unless they are connected to someone that is ascended, in this case my mother and myself, or they're ascended themselves in a way where they can experience, many different types of things. It doesn't have to just be, a dragon. It could be other mystical things. Like I know some of you, you're connected to fairies and you'll see fairies. Some of you will see angels. I myself had an experience with an angel when I was going through my awakening. That was like, wow, that was amazing, and an amazing experience. And those experiences are personal, so I don't really talk about them too much. 55 on the clock, because a lot of people that have not had those experiences, or they're not awakened, they're in a very lower vibration, they wouldn't understand it and they wouldn't believe in that stuff, especially people that are conditioned and full, you understand. So I don't really talk about stuff like that, but I just brought it up because I see the dragon here with the Hierophant, which is giving me a highly evolved being that works with you. So some of you are getting downloads from places that you may not fully even understand, but is connected to your higher consciousness and to spirit and source. But there are other things around you that you may not be able to see, but maybe some of you sense, or it comes to you within a dream to let you know it's there. Okay? So, yeah, you guys have been tapping into the unknown, to the mystical realms. Queen of Cups, once again. Okay? With the Seven of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Wands. You still have love in your heart. You have self-love because we saw the Ace of Cups. So you have the Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. What's missing? Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Oh, Ace of Swords. Okay. And we have the Moon. Okay. Exactly. You self-reflected and you walk through that shadow. We have the Moon twice. Okay. There may be new encounters here through this journey that you're going through also, with taking chances and going out on a limb, but not at the cost of your heart. You will be weighing out that heart with justice being there. And oof, God help whoever tries to go up against you again. Queen of Swords. Uh-huh. Wiser. Smarter. Witty. Okay? And you killed that demon. Whatever inner demons you had, you defeated it. See that right there? You became the warrior. You became the warrior with love in your heart. You didn't let the heartbreak taint you in a negative way. Alright, let's get one of these for each row here. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny. Discernment, clear vision, and the details. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny. I'm telling you, you were busy. You were busy. You're using discernment, your vision is clear, and you pay attention to detail. Okay? Your mind is sharp. Sharp as a whistle. Queen of Cups. Queen of Wands. So we got Earth, Water and fire out here. And air. Why did I say earth? We don't have earth. That must be coming up. I don't know. Maybe that's what's coming. The Desert Prince, survival and false promises. This is like the Page of Wands. Okay? And this is right here with the moon. So on your journey, you will encounter others that try to come up against you like people in the past did. Whether these are love, friendships, you know, sparks of interest, crushes, whatever. You will run up against some of these people. But like I said, with justice there, you are weighing these people's hearts. You're not the Queen of Cups from the past. Okay? You're becoming the Empress, the Emperor out this mother. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. It says circuitous. How do you say that? Circuitous route. Perception. Yeah. You're definitely, it's all about perception right now. And you're seeing things from a higher perception. You're seeing things beyond the eye. Okay? So anybody coming to you with this page energy, like, boy or girl, please. You're still in Egoville? Yeah, no. I'm in the mystical realm. You can't come in here. Go wipe your nose somewhere. You still got water behind your ears. The Eagle King. The big picture. Angelic help. The Eagle King. You have a warrior here. Of course, this could be you. Now you see, right? The eagle, the big picture, angelic help. You have Archangel Michael here. Knight of Swords, King of Cups. Yep. This is angelic help. You have a warrior here coming with you. Also, this Knight of Wands coming with the Queen of Cups. You have unknown forces around you. Oh, Yep. Obviously you may know about Archangel Michael, yes. But there are other things around you here. And these pages of wands don't see this. Somebody's here next to you about to put the fear in someone here. Or whoever crosses you in the wrong way. With justice being here, I'm telling you, anybody that comes against you in a negative way, Spirit is slicing and dicing. Phoenix rising. Can't make it up. Resurrection. Surrender to change. You are the Phoenix. Okay? You became the dragon energy. You ascended. Essentially is what that means. That's why the dragon is there. You are tapping into the mystical realms. Oh my goodness. That's why a lot of these people that did you wrong, or a lot of people in your life, you will never see them again. Their vibration is too low. You're in another timeline. You have officially entered a different timeline. There are many, and I don't know how many you've entered, but right now you're officially in a different timeline. So these like a page? No. You're the Desert Prince? No. Like, no. Bye-bye. Get out of my way. And it's just, a moth to a flame, basically. They don't know what this is about. There's still a cub out here. Alright, let's see. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny, Discernment, Clear Vision, and Details. Create a sacred space. Yep, and you sure did. Discernment, clear vision, and details. That's where you got your discernment, clear vision, and details. You created a sacred space. Okay? You are tapping in, grounding your energy, opening that crown chakra, and tapping into the quantum field, getting into those downloads. Information. It's like endless information. Come back to center. Yep. And you sure did. Number 16, we have number 32. Again, number 7, we have 19 with 10 here. Yeah, these pages, the Desert Prince, they still got shit to close out. Cycles to close out in their life. They're just beginning, whoever that is. 32, again adding up to 5. A lot of 5s here, a lot of 7s, a lot of 9s. A lot of 3s. The Eagle King. 2 cards for that. Sparkle and Shine and Improvise. Ooh wee. Number 13. You didn't give up. You improvised. And you sparkling and shining. 26. Adding up to 8. I'm telling you, man. You did. You used whatever tools you had. And you improvised. You made it work. You made it work. No matter what situation someone left you in, or you left yourself in at some point, you made it work. If somebody left you out in the cold, you had helpers. Some of you are connected to shamans here that were watching you. You're a channel. Number 18. Adding up to 9. 9 is the portal. You are a channel. You are rooted in the earth and in the infinite universe. You're an absolute channel for experiences, information. You're tapping into endless possibilities. See, the human has been limited in their experiences because of the conditioning and the picture that has been painted that kept us in a very confined mental space, pretty much compartmentalizing our power to where we couldn't see beyond what we were told or what our our limited experiences are. You're tapping into something that is infinite. There is infinite potential beyond what people understand and know. And this is what the age of Aquarius is bringing. It's about self-mastery. It's about understanding. It's about breaking the ceiling of our limited perspective and conditioning and self-limiting beliefs. It's about seeing a picture that is infinite. And you can't wrap your mind around it because there is no paper or veil wide enough to contain it. So it's a journey indeed. You just must flow with it and receive it as it comes. Number 18. Adding up to another 9. So many portals, so many limitless experiences you could have. It's beyond comprehension. Wherever you're at on this level, on this path, on this journey, is different for all of you. But if you know, you know. Wow. Anything else? We're going to just use this deck real quick, get a few cards, and then that's going to be it. I'm just kind of shaking up the cards a little bit. Alright. I'm using my In the Midst of Love Oracle. We have childhood sweethearts here. You may bump into someone you held very dear to your heart at a young age, reminiscing the good old days. Okay? Somebody here that you know might have healed and is realizing something. This could be someone thinking about you. It's a childhood sweetheart. They could be a fire sign or an air sign. Take it how it resonates. Second row. Bastet. With coming back to center. So, like I said, you have forces around you that you may or may not know about. Some of you may connect to Bastet. Goddess of fertility, good fortune, good health, pleasure, protection, and justice. And we saw justice here on this very row. And for some of you, there could be a child here that walks with you. This could be a child that is waiting to be born for some of you. Some of you, you may have lost a child at a young age, and they walk with you. They may want to be reborn, okay, for those of you who can, but for others of you who are not, wanting any more children, or you're at a place in life where you're not going to have any more children, and you've maybe lost a child when you were younger, they walk with you. Okay. And the third one here, the Eagle King. Compassion. Exactly. I love unconditionally, requiring nothing in return. You exude love and inner peace, and you are very compassionate. You're shining your light. You improvised. And you are being protected because Source understood who to put in your corner when it comes to the spirit realm, because they understand how compassionate you are. Like I said, you are of pure heart. And you love unconditionally. But now you're in your power, so you walk with strength. And you became, we have the High Priestess and the Hierophant. Okay? The Hierophant is a spiritual teacher, and the High Priestess is tapped in to the Akashic Records. And you became a channel. So you best believe that you are highly connected to the spirit realm. There is no illusion here. There is no ifs, ands, or buts here. It is what it is. And nobody has to understand it but you. It's your journey. It's your path. You're doing good with it. That's all that really matters. You're surpassing this villains in your life. And if they want to see you as the villain, that's their problem. Because you walk with compassion. And you have unconditional love, and you do not retaliate in the way they do. You're not over here gossiping. You're not over here plotting. You're not over here trying to cast stones, okay, upon your glass home, somebody's glass home. Like, you're not doing any of that. You are trucking. You're keeping it moving. And honestly, for those people, more than coming up against you in all types of ways and trying to, whether it's energetically, spiritually, through magic, or through plots, or through whatever, through words, gossip, lies, deception, what you're doing hurts a lot more than any of that could ever hurt. Because you're no longer a part of their life, period. Point blank. And if they saw your life as a recreational experience where they can run amok, the playpen is permanently closed. And on that note, Shadow Angel. Your shadow is just as powerful as your light, gifted in strength and resilience. Use your power wisely. Wow. What a just card to really wrap this up with. Spirit is on point. You're being guided, protected. You walk with unconditional love and compassion, but don't get it twisted for anyone else. Because you don't walk alone. You are indeed an earth angel, a light bringer, a beacon of light. But your shadow, you own that shit. And what you can't retaliate on, you best believe that you have archangels here that walk with you. You have ancestors that walk with you. Okay, nobody knows where your spirit comes from. You may be figuring that out for yourself, and it's different for all of you. And I almost want to get one more deck here, but I'm going to end it there. Do I want one more card? No. There it is, Angel. Divine wings, protection, blessings, heavenly. So if people don't want to believe who you are, or they don't even have to know. Some of them just don't have any idea what path you walk. It's very tailored and unique to you, just like a suit, a dress, made to fit, made to order, just for you. Yeah, you have allies, you have support, partnership, unity, and mutual aid. And on that note, there it is, Dragon Rider. Epic companion, fire-breathing legend. You have allies. You best believe the mystical realm exists. Okay? And you're connected to it. Even if you can't see it, you know what's up. Okay, collective, that's what I have for you. Let me know in the comments if anybody resonates. Thank you so much for walking with me in this reading. And don't mind my squeaky chair. And yeah, I wish you guys the best. Keep shining, keep elevating, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working for you. There's many new beginnings. Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. You're still learning. You know, obviously, of course, every step of the way. Knowledge is endless, so is wisdom. Infinite. And I mean, to have a direct line to the quantum field and being aware of it is a beautiful thing. I'll leave you guys with that. Peace, and I love you guys. Remember, dark paradise